Attention, ladies and gentlemen. We're now arriving in Detroit. Once again, this is Detroit Woodward Street Station. And thank you for riding Amtrak.
This exhibition is called the Teed One Residence Exhibition, and it is in memory of a friend of mine and a wonderful graffiti writer named Jordan Vaughn, who is also known as Teed One.
Welcome to the Wisendale Weekly Wrap-Up, where we talk about architecture, design, and everything in between. We're still over here at the M Contemporary Art Gallery, and a special guest this week. You can introduce yourself.
Hey everybody, I am Freddy Diaz. I am a muralist from Southwest Detroit. I go by SW Freddy or Southwest Freddy. Thank you for having me, bro.
Nice, man. Well, I guess let's start with the name first. I mean, where did you come up with the Southwest? Or, how did you think about branding yourself like that?
I always had like the core and the foundation of just being a muralist and having an existence and just to exist in the market or in the scene was, to kind of put Southwest on the map. It was always like, I didn't really see it though until I left. When I spent time in Europe. Okay. And when I was out there, I realized everybody, they were big, really, really hype on like Chicago, on LA, on Miami, on all these, big American cities. But Detroit was always like probably bottom of the list. Like we never really got, aside Eminem, or the, when Pistons won the championship, which people still hate the Pistons, and it's like, dude, whatever. But it's like
they do hate on the Pistons a lot.
Hard, and it's like, it's whatever, man. Like I don't.
Well, man, I mean, being in Chicago, you don't understand. Like everybody talks about the Jordan. I'm like, yo, man, the Pistons. Like everybody hates on Detroit.
We're the bad boys, but it's and that only led me wanting to, embrace where I come from and just my upbringing. Like I spent a lot of time with nonprofits as a kid, the Alley Project with Eric and DHCC, with Lex and all those guys. Cool. And so, you grow up around it, and it was just when I went to go pick a handle, like to pick an Instagram name. Yeah. I just, that was like the only thing that I felt like should come before me. It's like the SW. Yeah. I never initiated to be planned to be called Southwest Freddy, and I kind of still don't like it, but because it just sounds like a rapper name. But it's but the SW was just always stood for Southwest. Nice. And just on a branding standpoint, like if any companies or whatever, or any other artists when I was out somewhere else, what's the SW? And then, it's back home. Like you guys gotta come through and just have it be an introduction for to make it accessible to people.
And is that throughout all your handles and like the website? Is SW?
Yeah, SW Freddy. I bought the domain recently. I was like so geeked. I needed to learn to get on all that stuff. And so my homie Eduardo, he's like the dude that helps me with all my website shipping, handling, all like anything that I put for sale, he's like on top. And so like he manages everything, and he's the one. He's like, you need to get a domain, you need to like own the domain. And, and so
it's important. I know we were catching up with Melanie about that business tip, right? And she's just educating people about how important it is to get everything kind of. I mean, I guess it could always evolve, right, and change, but having that foundation is super important for sure. So Southwest, I mean, you've seen the neighborhood kind of change a little bit throughout your time too. Can you talk a little bit about that? I know, obviously, Clark Park's getting a huge kind of renovation over there. For people who don't know, we'll put a link up in the show. But yeah,
it's interesting, man. I mean, it's kind of like, I mean, I would say it's for the better than for the worse in a sense, because for a long time, you know, as a kid, I seen a lot of businesses thrive, and then I seen a lot of businesses struggle for so long. And it was just, it wasn't a lack of money. It was just a lack of like appreciation towards certain areas and certain things we have. And so like, once other people start to catch wind of of beautiful things that we have in our neighborhoods, you know, they want to be there. They want to support it. And so like on that aspect of things, it's just all a matter of how it's regulated and how we can take notes from other cities where there's been changes. And so
for sure,
everything is inevitable. You know, every neighborhood is not safe.
Yeah.
People are going to want to move in. People are going to want to live. But it's just, it's all going to be on how we take notes and how we, you know, move accordingly. And so, but I embrace it. I think that, you know, people wanting to live in our town and people wanting to spend money in our local restaurants and our local businesses, like that's amazing. Why not?
For sure. Yeah, and I know that the Latino or the Chicano culture is a lot in your artwork too. And how, I guess, has that been something you've always kind of embraced in your artwork, or did that kind of evolve more too?
Oh, I mean, for me, it's always been just playing the safe side in the sense of like not feeling like I have to be somebody else. Yeah. Like, why try so hard to identify in another genre or another, you know, like if I'm going to experiment, let me experiment with things I know. Yeah. And things that I can relate to personally. Yeah. So that I can feel a little more confident that others relate to it. Yeah. And it's just, it literally just stems back to, you know, my own filter and where I want to explore and where I want to experiment. And like, by any means, I don't like try to box myself in to it because, you know, I do other stuff too. Like, and I try to also explore the graffiti elements. Yeah. And try to keep that aspect of my work very, very rich and alive too, because I think, you know, it's very important, man. For so long, not just me, but other artists, we struggle to, you know, have art become, or graffiti be validated as an art form. Yeah. And now that, you know, we're getting a lot of these platforms and opportunities, I think that it's important that we continue to stick to our roots, you know?
Yeah, for sure. The murals, going from the murals to the canvas and to the gallery walls, I mean, what are some of the challenges that you think, like, that is, because I know scale is one, two, like just, you know, seeing things at such a large scale, and then obviously down to a canvas or down even to a print, you really can't encompass. It's like seeing mountains, right? And you can't really put that shit like on a photo because it really doesn't encapsulate it. So,
I mean, I think they all have a value in their own way. Yeah. I want to say it's a little more overwhelming to be in galleries and in canvases, and I fully respect it because coming from a muralist and being outside a lot and painting walls, I could say that murals are a little more for public eye, to where someone's driving by and they see it, they glance at it, and it makes them happy or whatever, or they might not like it or whatever, however they feel about it. But it's a quick interaction versus a gallery where it's like people can like sit here and dissect your work. And it's on a light, you know, it's on a very, really studio light that can pretty much, you know, someone can really, really study your work. And so it's a little more overwhelming because there's a lot of things that, you know, you got to factor in when you're painting. It's like, fuck, like they're going to see everything.
Every stroke and stuff,
So there's really no way to hide. And so in a good way, you know, by any means, I don't shy away from that challenge, but it makes me respect it a little more because of that. Mm-hmm. And it's a different market. So people are looking for different things sometimes. So for me as the artist, or as any art, you know, just being an artist, the way that I look at it is as a learning experience to kind of, you know, add more to the toolbox and learn and just not feel like I know what people want, because I really don't. And I just, a lot of times, like, and I've said this many times, but this has been the year where this has been very, very present. But like, I'm just having fun, you know, and I just love what I do. So by any means, I don't want to hate it anytime soon. And in order to continue to love it, I just gotta do what I want to do and just have fun with it. Like, not be too hard on myself, because for many years when I was young and hungry, it was like, Gomo, like I want people to validate this and that, and like I'm gonna earn my stripes and this and that. And it's like, you know, I reached a point where it's like, you know, man, like it's a never-ending cycle if you're in it for all the wrong reasons. And so having the time where age catches up has been a good thing, where like you don't, it's almost like adding a little bit of ice, putting ice on everything, and and learning to just calm down and weather and marinate and reflect and grow from where you once were. And one of the things that I learned was just man, like I have the drive and I have the heart to get to where I want to get to, but if I want to truly be happy inside, I gotta like take my time.
Definitely. And that's an older, I mean, not that age has to do, but it's more of a mature mentality, right? Like being comfortable with yourself and letting things come out of you. Like if you dig it, you dig it. If you don't, you can keep moving. You know what I mean? Like
like you learn more from your losses. And like I mean, like, man, I can't tell you it's been easy at all. And everybody asked me, like, what would you tell another artist? Like I probably say good luck, because it's like it's not easy at all.
It's the truth though, man.
And it's like, I love Dave Chappelle because he always says it. He said it the best. He's like, I'm like Evel Knievel. I get paid for the attempt. Like no one ever says it's gonna be good, but I'm up here to attempt. And so it's true. It's like really, just when you think you know something, life will show you don't know anything. And so it's a hard field to jump into, but by any means, I'm just super grateful to be able to accomplish and continue to be in the scene, in the mix.
Well, I mean, some of the stuff is calculated too, right? Like you were saying, you're testing different things out. Like, do you think about that a lot too? Just let's see how the market or how people will react to certain things.
Yeah, all the time.
Still within your work, but I mean, you're constantly doing that too, right?
It's like it's a trait, I think, like that you start to develop as you're older, and it's like anybody that performs, like I look at, I have friends that are musicians, and they're constantly going to concerts, or like right now, granted COVID, but beforehand they were going to shows, looking at other artists, and just learning, like, because it's an interactive process, and like seeing what people react to and what they don't react to, and what they like, what they don't like, and it's part of the work that goes in, but aside of it, like when you're behind the wheel, it's also like what you can bring to the table that's different, that's authentic. We all have, it's very generic to say, but we all have our own identity. If me and you sat and took a picture of the same angle of a painting, and we took at the same angle in the same spot, your picture and my picture would be completely different. Right. Because we're different people, and we, the lighting. It's just we have a different way to do things, and that's what we need to learn to embrace a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. And I remember, because at the opening, I was telling you that we went to E&L the night before, and then we saw. I saw there was a lowrider on the mural on the thing, and I was like, "Oh, did you do that one?" You're like, "No, good eye though." But this one, and for those of you watching or listening on the podcast, hop over to our YouTube. We're in the gallery and in front of a few pieces of Freddy's. So, but yeah, so that like seeing everything and seeing what else the neighborhood provides. I mean, it's all encompassing for sure. Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm excited and I'm motivated by everything that's going on in the city, because not just my neighborhood, but like the whole city, because there's so much talent, man, and I'm starting to see in more different things, like more different genres. We got good people that are photographers, videographers, musicians, and just even promoters, man. It's like it's insane, what we can do as a unit. Yeah, and it's inspiring to me, man, and to me, it's like just to be here at this time. It's like 20 years from now, we're probably gonna be grateful, But I like to live in that now, and I like to really appreciate, everything as it's happening, and just enjoy the ride.
Damn, 20 years from now, man, I don't even know what I'm gonna be doing 20 years from now.
I hope I'm retired, man. Well, not retired, but like I hope I'm just chilling.
Just chilling.
I definitely want to. I love what I do, but I want to get the most out of it while I can, and then reach a point where it's it's a little more of of a therapy thing, of something that makes me happy and more happy than it does already. Like not just a job, a career. Like I want to reach a point where like, well, I do it just out of love, and it's like every now and then I'll creep in, and then I don't have, it's not a priority to me, you know.
Are there any national like artists that you kind of really liking, or that you, I guess, follow really closely, that you like?
Yeah, and man, I'm actually blessed to like say that some of them are my friends, man.
Nice.
Like Jesus Benitez, he's a painter from Mexico City.
Nice.
Insane, man.
Mexico City, man. That city is on fire too, man.
He mentored some of the biggest artists out there, and he's very, very underground, where he doesn't like that validation, but he was part of the first muralist wave.
Okay.
That was bumping, man. He had like, he worked with Comex, he had worked with Adidas. Yeah. He had like big collaborations when it wasn't even, you know, it wasn't a thing where muralists can actually work with endorsements and getting companies and he's out there killing it since he was young, and it was just seeing him kind of graduate from that and just being in a space where he's just creating freely and people respect his work for what it is. It's very satisfying to me, because it lets me know that, you know, a lot of it is possible, and it's kind of like a good projection of where I want to see myself in a couple years, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And I guess, how many pieces do you pump out? Would you say like a year? Or I know you're hot right now, so like, is this the activity you did this year? Is it more than you've been doing before, or has it changed at all?
Yeah, I actually my New Year resolution was to sorry,
you're good.
Was to be more productive. Okay, because you know that's always been my challenge. It's been like a lot of times I get burnt out, man, and a lot of the times was just I was in that experimental phase where I wasn't really consistent on body I wanted to push, and there was a lot of times I had really great ideas, but I didn't follow through with them to make a whole body and to like to really just create. Everything was always premeditated, and I was really hard on myself for a while, you know. And so my resolution this year was like, I look back, because I do that. I don't do it too often, but like, it's always when the new year happens and everybody puts up their square of like what
of course.
So
so going to the gym, eat right.
And I start to look back, and I'm like, damn, like, how was this year? What did I learn? What did I, you know, and my birthday, you know, it's coming around. Yeah. And so like every year that I, you know, those are usually the two things that do it for me, where I reflect and I like, you know, one thing that I looked at, I was like, man, I want to be more consistent. No matter what, like I want to see more shit. Yeah. Whether people get tired of seeing it, I don't care. Like I do it for them, but I also do it for me, you know? Yeah. And so it's a creative, I'm just literally documenting growth. And so, to me, like it's, this year, I feel like I've been already, I think we're a little past halfway through the year. Yeah. But like this year's been a little more busier than a lot of the other years. Yeah. And it's exciting because, you know, I watch a lot of interviews and I watch a lot of podcasts and a lot of everything. And the LeBron one, I think there was one where he says that as you get older, when you start at as a rookie, you're at like 99. And then as you begin to age, it starts to go lower and lower. Mm-hmm. You know, you could be at 100 when you're
energy.
Yeah, you're at 100 in college, and then once you're a rookie, you're at 99, and everything from there to your whole trajectory, you start to like go lower. And it resonated with me, but it's like, I was like, man, dude, like, I don't want that. Like, I want to start at 99, and if I occasionally go down to like 80s, I want to be able to crank back up. Yeah, you know, absolutely. Like, and if there's highs and lows, that's cool. But as long as there's other moments where I can come back up, because you know, if I'm learning all this and then I can't apply it in the future, then it's like, dude, like I'm learning it for nothing. Yeah. Or to pass on to the next, you know. But
well, yeah, I saw you brought the airbrush back. I mean, I haven't seen the airbrush in a minute, so that's I really like that. Have you always worked with the airbrush too?
No, man, that was an organic approach, because I bought a car, 84 Cutty.
Okay, nice.
And yeah, man, I went out to Ohio.
Dope,
Yeah, my good homie, he's fucko. I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss, but that's what we call him.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You can cuss all you want.
We call him fucko, but yeah, he's my good homie from Ohio. Yeah, and he has nothing but G bodies, Regals.
Oh, nice.
Big Regal guy.
Yeah.
And he's got Rivieras. He's got a lot of Buick. And he had that one Oldsmobile, and he's like, I don't want it. It's the one and I was like, man, fuck it. I'll come get it. And ever since I got it, I started thinking about the future of like wanting to build my own lowrider and like what the process would be like and the money and everything. And so one of the things that I came across in that process of like, things I wanted to do was like, well, eventually I would want to airbrush it, like have it be my own art, my own work of art on wheels. And so like,
and that's a whole, not to cut you off, I mean, and that's a whole nother culture. That's a whole nother beast within itself, man.
That's my guilty pleasure. Like when I'm not doing artwork, like I always admire lowriding. Like it's been huge in Southwest and like, and anytime I've gone out west, like my homies in Cali, man, they've taken me to swap meets and like I'm a big like geek for cars and in a different element because like I'm not a race car guy, but I love like I love old classic cars and lowriding, man. It's I wanted to learn this and like and bring that 90s feel back and shirts and merch and like. That stuff was like my first approach in jumping in and practicing because by any means do I think I'm like great at this. I'm learning. I'm learning as I go. It's an experiment for me but I do take it serious because anybody that airbrushes, like I have so much respect because it's not an easy thing at all. And like all your flaws show, and you can erase and it's like, and you can't you can layer over, but it's gonna look like shit. So it's a challenge. Yeah. And so I dabbed into that, man, just because for the sake of like wanting to work on my own car. Yeah, definitely. Well, that's cool, man. You got the Cutty. What color is it right now? Are you gonna paint it? It's white. Yeah, it's white, but I plan to change it like to like a sherbet orange. Okay. Like that's a candy sherbet. Nice. And what about the interior? Right now it's gray, and I might keep it gray just because it's man. If I don't know, I don't know what the upholstery rates go for, but I mean it's pretty good condition, man. The car's clean. It's crazy. That's awesome. It's pretty much ready. I think I just gotta like fix 2 little spots inside the transmission tunnel. But it's pretty much the body's pretty much solid, ready for paint anytime. Dope. But I want to get the frame done just so I can hop it. And do all that stuff, cut it. And any speakers too? But more like I'll probably just do like good couple voice. Tens. Yeah, nothing crazy because I want to have the whole trunk full of batteries. Like I really plan to hop this shit. Like, not like while you're in or while you're out. What do you mean? Like because I know a lot of people are hopping when they're outside the car and they like show things. Right? No. While I'm in, man, I want to beat it and clown and that's it's the whole point. Like, but you gotta have money to break shit. Like, absolutely. You gotta pay to play and I'm taking my time because that's. When I'm a dad, that's like the wave I want to be on, where I can take my kids on cruises. Yeah, for sure. And so like that's where I'm headed into. And nice. But yeah, man. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I know. When I was in high school, I had a S10 extended cab, and I had 310s in that dude. And that dude was fucking banging, man. It was solid. Like the sound. It hit really nicely. I mean, the 12s and stuff like that, that's just like way too much sound. It's just quality, right? As long as it's a clean punch. Yeah, man. I'm the same. I'm not trying to make no alarms go off, and so I just want to enjoy the music as I go, and I'm more into like the whole overall aspect of the car instead of like the music. The music's important though, for sure. Absolutely. But yeah, man, I'm more like I definitely want to build it to so I can definitely beat it and but make it built to last. Nice. Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation we could have for sure. And then so the prints are a big thing right now. And do you hand embellish any of the prints and stuff too when they come out? Or like, man. How do you handle that sort of aspect of it? I became familiar with prints like just once my friends that are older artists, they started working with One Time Run. Okay. And that was like a huge like change in the game, because it offered a new market, like a new way to stretch money. for a painting. Rula. Yeah, Rula and Jesse.
Yeah, I want to reach out to her, see if she can get her on the podcast too.
Oh, they're great, man. They helped me sell my first art, like my first painting when I did a show with them in like 2015 or, it was a while, or maybe 2015, something like that. We did an art show with them. They put me in there, and man. From then I learned how to stretch money and how to be accessible, because I could work on a month on a painting, right? And I want to price it at something that I value as, well, I worked on this for a month, so it's worth this, right? Yeah. Well, not everybody has that money. So like, what's a way that, somebody that wants to support but like doesn't really want to spend this crazy money? Yeah. Like how can they support? And it's like, prints have always been a good way. And I've personally bought prints from work I can't afford either. So it's just a good opportunity. And right now, like, I've been working with Alan, my homie from Unfolding Creative. Okay. He's out here in Ferndale, and he's amazing. He allows me to be in the process of creating the print, so I get to be behind the scenes and like see everything from start to finish. And
nice. Do you run limited prints? Or?
Yeah. I always try to, so the value still remains. And man, and I embellish, but I also emboss. I've been embossing lately too, because I feel like it adds a new meaning, a new feel to it, and it's its own work, as opposed to the canvas, the actual original. And then NFTs are like popping right now. So I want to talk a little bit about that. I want to venture into it. I got friends that are like experimenting with it and figuring it out, but I don't really know enough about it to really just jump in it. Yeah. So
I wouldn't even know how to create it. I don't know too much about it.
So but I heard good things, man, and it's rising, like the value. So
for sure,
eventually, I want to have that as well. But yeah, like it's just another form of being accessible.
Yeah.
As an artist.
Excuse me. How was the murals in the market? That's been pretty big. I don't know. I don't think they did it last year, and I don't think they did it this year either. But talk a little bit about that, about all the expats, sometimes expats, but then just people coming into the city, flocking to the city, and making Eastern Market just like the place to be for murals.
Yeah, when I was young, when I was young, but it was when they first did it, the first year, the first 2 years, it was like a goal for everybody, like from the city, like as an artist. Yeah, it was like everybody's motivated because like, man, we want to be on this lineup. We want to also be included, because it was just the first couple years, it was like headliners, artists were like the artists they were bringing in were like artists that were like killing it consistently. And it was motivation. Like for me, it was like inspiring to like want to be there and want to be featured and want to work to have art in the city and and be like have that that not that validation, but like I guess you could say have that, be validated and being included and
be included in the conversation, man, for sure.
And so like the first years it was inspiring because I wasn't even in it, man. I was just a fly on the wall. But I took advantage of all these artists coming in. I took advantage to like meet other artists, because a lot of times if you want to grow as a person, and you could be anything, but like if you want to grow, I highly recommend traveling, because it's the way to expand your mind, being in different environments, and you meet new people and learn new things from new people, versus being in just one environment where everybody kind of tends to be consistent on a thing. But when these festivals come in, it's a good opportunity to meet other artists and to kind of like, especially like artists that are killing it. It's like you want to be, have access, and like if you're smart, you want to take advantage,
absolutely.
And by any means, it's not illegal, and so it's free game, and it's like I wanted to like just rub elbows with them.
Yeah, exactly. Like, drop that knowledge.
And be present. And like next time they're in, they think about you or they look out for you, because they're wondering what you're up to. And with the internet, it's like that's really the only reason I'm on the internet. It's just to see what other artists are doing, and like because I get inspired, man, on a daily basis. And
have you been to Wynwood down in Miami?
Yeah, man. But I was going down there on a graffiti aspect, man.
For sure.
All my WH heads down there, and
that's wild down there, man.
Bumping.
And
good for them, and hopefully more and more Miami artists get embraced, because there's a lot of heat down there. Yeah. But man, like it's a good it was a good opportunity to network and
Nice.
and I met artists that I'm still friends with to this day because of it.
Yeah.
And right now there's BLKOUT Walls. They had that was a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
With Sydney.
What's that?
It was an all black organized mural festival.
Oh, cool.
That they did in the city and
Nice.
and it was insane, man.
Yeah.
All the artists too that came out and showed out. It was incredible, man. And for me, I always look at it this way, being Mexican in a city that's like, and I mean maybe the numbers are off, but I would say it's like a 90% black populated city.
Yeah.
So like we pretty much got adopted.
Yeah.
by the black people, man, and I love it, man. And,
for sure.
And it's like it's a whole nother dimension that I get to tap into in terms of like learning their culture, learning just something that I'm born into.
Yeah,
in a
for
sense.
sure.
And Sydney even asking me, I'm Mexican to be a part of the festival.
Yeah,
was
that's
amazing,
awesome. Yeah.
And working with my homie Shifi, he's a
Okay.
good friend of mine, man. We just have too much fun together. And,
Yeah.
on and off the art, and
Yeah.
it's just like it's always been that way. And that festival was another
That's cool.
I said, a good opportunity
Yeah.
for networking.
Was this the first time they did that, or
Yeah, first annual, man.
BLKOUT Walls?
And hopefully they do it in Atlanta and like they do it in other big cities. Like
Okay.
I want to see it in Chicago. I want to see
Yeah.
it in
That's cool.
like continue BLKOUT Fest, BLKOUT Walls in other cities, so they can expand. Because Sydney is she's solid. She's always been. I would say she's like one of the big pioneers in the city as an artist. And
Yeah.
So,
and when what neighborhood was that in, or where
North,
did they have it?
North was it? I want to say it's by a New Center, but it's like
Okay. I'll look it up and throw it up in the thing. But yeah.
North End. That's what it's called.
Okay, North End?
Yeah.
Nice. What piece did you do for that on that?
Me and Shifu, we just did a collab, man. We just,
Okay, cool.
We made a day out of it.
Okay.
It wasn't even like, man, like I said, man, and this is my year where I say, man, like just having fun, man.
Yeah.
Just having fun and
Was Shifi on the Monroe thing?
the skating rink?
Yeah, the skating
He
rink.
just did the skating rink.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool,
man.
cool.
He's been burning, man. He's one of the hardest workers I've ever met, man.
Yeah.
Man, he does it all. The thing is, he grinds like he's three people, man.
Yeah.
He does the music, he does the art, and he does the Shifi, his own character of being who he is. And it's, oh man, like I love that dude because since we met, he's been nothing but great to me in a sense of like empowering. And
Sure.
I met him when I was at Red Bull. I did a residency with Matt.
Oh yeah. I wanted to ask you about that, man. What was that like?
It was I would say it was great, but I felt like there was too many heads in the residency because I think we did like 12 people.
Oh wow.
And it's like, how do we fit? Like, it was kind of like a hint where Matt was like, "Yo, shit's about to change, so I'm gonna try to get as many local people as I can before shit changes."
Yeah.
Because it got to a point where he didn't have the power
Yeah.
to curate how he wanted to do things. It was beyond his hands,
Sure.
his reach. So he's like, well, the least thing I could do is put on this
Detroit
last
people,
wave
yeah,
that I
for sure.
can. And I got in there like last minute, like literally the last local residency that he had was us, and then it was
Cool.
then he sized it down to 3 people.
Yeah.
Every residency, and
Yeah.
so that's great. I feel like that's a lot more of an experience because you can pretty much
Spread
stretch
out.
out.
Yeah.
And you have more time to marinate on the work.
Yeah.
But man, like the people that I met during that residency was amazing, and Matt and Rob, they were great to me, man. I feel like I had some of the greatest moments there, man, and just meeting people and being in the market, when it was popping. I mean, right now it's great, but like,
No, I remember when they did their residency and they came to the scene, man. It was live for sure.
it was bumping.
Yeah.
And like I would say, man, what it did for me was it became a platform to like learn and how to move in that in a gathering environment and just, man, I met so many local artists there, man. Shifi put me pretty much. He had a house that he stayed at right in the corner.
Okay.
And he would throw bangers out of it, man. And so like he was like, "Yo, come by. I'm having a party."
Yeah.
And like it was literally on the corner, so I would literally like walk there, like 2-minute walk, a minute walk, and he would introduce me to everybody who was working during that time. And a lot of us are like, we're a little further along in our careers, and it's cool, man. It's I didn't know anybody. I was coming from Southwest, and I only knew like, you know, all the older guys like Vito and, you know, all the older muralists that, you know, existed before me, and graffiti writers. But like it wasn't like these are other muralists that are doing what I'm doing. You know, and in the city as a whole, you realize that it's not just Southwest; it's a bigger city, and you get to share that space, man. And it was amazing, man.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, because you I mean, what you were touching on too is like, you know, your work ethic. The work ethic is there, right? Like you'll outgrind whoever. You know, like you may not be the talented, or me personally, you know, I may not be the talented, but I'll definitely put in my work and see where that goes. You know.
Yeah. How would I say? I would say consistency has been the formula for me whenever, you know, anything's crazy has happened for me. I'd say I figured out that when you truly like keep chipping at something, it tends to be more effective, you know, than you think it does. Because a lot of times I would, you know, like I would swing and I would miss a lot of times, and it would be discouraging. But it's like, as I gotten older, I learned to embrace that. Okay, what am I doing wrong that I could do better? Instead of like, oh, well, I'm not good enough. And it's like, it's just learning to change your mindset you start to realize that the power to swing and try is your talent. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with that, man. Like, I feel like often social media paints a different picture where it's like everything has to be like, oh my fucking God, the best. And the way that it's served on a platter has to be like fucking a beautiful picture. But it's like, really, like, man, the thing that people relate to the most is true authenticity of being yourself and being human. And imperfections are other perfections, you know. And and I learned to embrace it, man. And I think that moved me further along than I would have been to try to be somebody else. And I think that it's an important step to take when you're a creative in any field, is start to embrace who you are a little more.
Absolutely.
And don't get too caught up on the trends, because, you know, if you just stick to your guns, you'll never know when it's your turn, you know. And when it's your turn to shine, you know, like, it'll all be worth it, because people can look back and say, you know, this dude was, you know, the whole time he was consistent, and all it took was one picture. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta like not do it for that though either. You know, you gotta, the whole thing has to be genuine, you know. And I feel like that's been one of the biggest lessons I learned, you know, because there's been opportunities where I could have taken shortcuts, and it's like, you know, sure, it's great and all, but like, what would I learn if I did that? You know, like, I'm gonna reach a new level, but then I'm not going to have the capability to, you know, manage those new levels without the experience that I need to be there. And everything, you know, you got to let nature take it step by step. Yeah,
man. I was going to say, in wrapping up, if you had any words for younger ones coming up, but you covered it right there for sure.
Yeah. And just
not even people coming up, just in general, right? Like people.
Yeah, creatives now.
Creatives in general,
Because I think interviews are an important opportunity to just, you know, learn. And I think, I would say, man, don't be discouraged, and just have fun. You know, like, if you're not having fun, then don't do it at all. You know, like, seriously, like, because you'll never be happy. You know, like, and that's one of the most important things. It's like, to be happy and to enjoy what you do, you gotta make sure that foundation is set. You know, where you're just having fun. It's not that serious. And you know, and for the people that do take it super serious, you know, power to them, you know.
Right.
I just learned to look at it different now, you know, and nobody's wrong, you know. I seen a Tyler interview with, I think it was like Hot 97 or Funk Flex or something, where he's like, nobody's wrong. Everybody just has a different reference point. And that to me was like, because he said it, like, he like pretty much explained it in a way that made sense to me. And it's true, man. And it's like, I'm just learning to go off of what I learned. And I think that if you're aspiring, like, you gotta just dig deep, man, and get ready to work. It's not gonna be easy, but do not get discouraged. Just have fun, you know, and maintain your sanity. Take your time. No, there's like some people that take longer than others to get to certain places, but everybody has a different reference point and a different path.
For sure. And where can people follow you at?
SW Freddy is
SW Freddy
on
the whole way?
Instagram, and then they can go to my website swfreddy.com. And,
nice.
Pretty much, yeah, man. I mean, it's
Cool.
pretty simple. I don't.
Yeah,
Facebook is like just fam, but
and then anything big coming up? Any shows or anything should be aware of? This, like I said, come out in September or anything.
Tomorrow I'm dropping merch.
Okay.
I've been doing a lot of merch, man, and hopefully prints too. Murals like crazy, man. All September is gonna be bumping, man.
And when you're doing the merch, like how much are you putting out, or like is it just tees, hats, or sweats?
The airbrush can be very limited, maybe like 20 pieces, 15.
Okay.
And it happened organically. I didn't really plan to do a drop. I just was practicing, and before I knew it, I would do like one a week, and then before I knew it, I had a whole body. So I'm like, fuck it, let's drop it.
Yeah.
And I got with Xavier. He photographer from the city. He's crazy.
Cool.
From Southwest, and he shot everything for me.
Dope.
And then yeah, man. And then I'm gonna do a shirt with spotlight. So that's gonna be 8-color screen print. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, nice.
And then murals, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, awesome, man. Well, thank you, man. Thank you for chopping it up and taking some time, man. I always appreciate it, for sure.
Cool, man. Appreciate you, dog. Anytime you need me, man, I'm here.
Cool. Thanks.